Hello everyone, this is Akash here from blenderskill.cf, and in this Blender tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this abstract scene with hexagon tiles. It looks very good, and this was a requested tutorial and I thought it's nice, so I thought to create a tutorial on this. So we'll create this, and it's pretty similar to the previous abstract tutorial which I created with the cubes, but instead of that we're going to use tiles, hexagon tiles, and I'm also going to show you how to create this red and black stripes on the particles. So let's create this in Blender. So open up a new scene in Blender. So this is the default scene. Start by deleting the cube by pressing X and delete. And now we need to create a hexagon tile. Now there's no option to add in a hexagon tile, and obviously you can manually model the hexagon tile, but I'll show you a simple way to create a hexagon tile quickly. So press Shift A, Mesh, Circle, just add in a circle, and in this tools panel you find in the add circle section area called vertices. Okay, so if we change the vertices to be 3, we'll get a triangle, 4 we'll get square, 5 a pentagon, and 6 a hexagon. Okay, so now we have a hexagon. Change the fill type to be n-gon, so there's a face. So that is how you can quickly create a hexagon tile or any other shape using a circle. Okay, so now let's add some geometry to the tile. So come in the modifiers tab, add modifier, then solidify. Increase this thickness around about 0.5 for now. Then add in another modifier, a bevel modifier, which is going to bevel the edges. Change this width to be 0.05 and increase the segments to about 3. Then change the shading to be smooth. Alright, and I'm going to rotate this hexagon tile by pressing R, then X, and 180, and enter. Then I'm going to come in the front view, and then I'm going to come in the orthographic view. Then press S and Z to scale it a bit more, and about that's fine. Then I'm going to move it to the second layer by pressing M and then 2 to move it to the second layer. Now in second layer you can see the tiles over here, and we're going to actually create one more tile, but before that we're going to actually set up the particle system. So come in the first layer by pressing 1, then press Shift A, Mesh Plane. The plane is actually going to contain all the particles. So let's rotate it by pressing R, then X, then 90. Then press S, then 10 to scale it 10 times, and I'm going to move it above the x-axis or the red line, like that. It's fine. Okay, so now let's set up the particle system. So come in the particle settings tab and click on new. Change the type to be hair, check advanced, and change the emit from to be words, and uncheck random. Now we need to subdivide the plane because currently we have only 4 vertices. So let's subdivide it. So come in the edit mode, make sure all the vertices are selected. You can select by pressing A once or twice, then press W and select subdivide. And I'm going to subdivide it quite a few times. Once more, I believe. Yeah, that's fine. So now we have enough of vertices. As you can see over here, the words is 1089. I'm just going to change the number of the particles to also be 1089, but for some reason we need to make it one, we need to just add one more particle. So change the number to be 1089 plus 1, which is 1090, which is fine now. Come down, you'll find in the render section, change it to be object, change the duplicate object to be the circle, and I'm actually going to rename this circle to be hexagon, which is going to help us later on. Hexagon. Okay, I'll come back to the first layer. Okay, so now as you can see, it's not properly rotated. Now we need to actually check rotation, and we need to rotate this tile which is in the second layer so that these particles rotate. Okay, so now if I rotate this by pressing R, then Y, then 90, then enter, you can see all the particles rotate. Now I need to rotate it once more, so I'm gonna again select the tile, then press R, then X, then 90, then enter. So now the particles are properly rotated. As you can see that they are properly facing. Okay, so now I'm gonna increase this size value of the particles so that they are much more bigger. Alright. Oh man, that's too big. Yeah. That was too small. As you can see, I'm actually using Blender version 2.76 release candidate 1 for this, but I'm sure it's actually gonna work with Blender version 2.75 also. Okay, so now that size is pretty much fine now. Now if I show you one picture, now this one, as you can see, this is a kind of a honeycomb picture, but you can properly see how the hexagon tiles are actually interlocked with each other. So this tile is actually in the middle of these two tiles over here. Okay, if you can understand. So now how do we do that? Now if we come back to our scene, you can see that they are all in straight lines. What we want is this tile to be in the middle of this tile in these two tiles. So how do we do all that? So the simplest way is to actually edit this plane itself. So I'm going to come in the edit mode by pressing tab key, then make sure you're in the wireframe mode, and then change the selection mode to be edge select, then press A once to deselect everything, and then now you can hold down Alt and right click on one of the row of edges to select them. Okay, and we need to select all the alternate row of edges, so you can hold down Shift, then press Alt and then select this one. So now we need to leave one row of the edges. So like this, you can select all the alternate row of edges. Very simple. Okay, it might be a bit tough when you do it for the first time. I couldn't find a simple way to do this, and if you have any simple way to do this, you can always share it in the comments below. So once when you selected all these alternate vertices, press G and then Z to move them up. Okay, if I come out of the edit mode, you can see the alternate row of the hexagon tiles have moved up. If I move it a bit more up, you can see they have moved a bit more. Now I can increase the size a bit by holding down Shift, so that yeah, that's actually nice. I'm gonna move it a bit more, GZ up a bit, so that yeah, it's properly placed. That's fine. And I'm gonna change to be 9.5 or 9.9 was fine. I mean 0.99, 0.099. What am I doing? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this size is fine. Let's see. Yeah, it's not overlapping. It shouldn't overlap. Okay, so what we want, it's kind of overlapping, which I don't want. We'll edit our tile itself. So I'm gonna select the tile. Also make sure you have selected all the layers. If you haven't selected all the layers, then you're gonna come in the first layer, hold down Shift and then press 2. This is gonna select the first and the second layer. I'm gonna select the particle, and I need to move this vertex right, this edge, and no, not that edge. It's actually this edge and this edge. Okay, so now select these two and then press S and then Z and Y, I believe. Yeah, we need to distort the hexagon also a bit. Yeah, that's better. Now I can increase the size. It's gonna properly fit. Yeah, that's fine. That's awesome. Okay, so what I basically did was I selected the tile, then I selected this and this vertex. Okay, these two vertex, and then scale them in the y-axis like this. Okay, I made it a bit more thinner. Okay, so now as you can see, they are all properly interlocked, and we have an awesome hexagon tiled particle system basically. So now we can create variations in the tiles. So come back to the second layer, and then come in the top view, and then select this tile, and then I'm gonna press Shift D and press Y, and then move it over here, and then I'm gonna press S and then X to scale it a bit. Okay, so that's pretty much nice. Now I'm gonna select the other particle by holding on Shift and right clicking, and I'm gonna press Ctrl G to create a group. I'm gonna name this group hexagon, or I'll name it tile, that's better. Okay, come back to the first layer, select the particle system, change this render to be group now, and then change the duplicate group to be tiles. Okay, so now because we have set up the entire particle system and all the size and everything, we are going to have a properly interlocked abstract pattern now. I'm going to check this use count, and we actually want to use more of this smaller tile rather than using that bigger tile. So I'm going to change this hexagon 1 count to be around about 3, okay, so that we have more smaller hexagon tiles. So that's nice. So now we can position the camera. So I'm going to come in the camera view, and then I'm going to lock the camera to view, not lock to cursor, lock the camera to view by opening this properties panel by pressing N, and then I'm going to place the camera over here. My viewport is lagging a lot now, I don't know why, actually, since I'm recording now. And okay, anyway, okay, so we are going to position it around about here, which should be fine. Just going to zoom out a bit more. Yeah, just a bit down. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's the camera setup, and yeah, now I'm going to save the project. So press Ctrl S, and I'm going to save it. Alright, okay, so now we have the tile scene saved now. Now let's set up the world. So change this blender render to the cycles render engine, change the color to be black. Now let's set up the lighting, then we are gonna move into the materials. So for now I'm gonna actually hide the particles because it's making my viewport very slow. I'm gonna delete this lamp by selecting and pressing X and delete. Now let's set up the lighting. So press Shift A, mesh, circle again. We're gonna use circle lamps. Now I'm again gonna change this vertices to be 32 so that we get a circle, and fill type to be n-gon, which is fine. Okay, I'm gonna come in the top view now, and then I'm gonna rotate it by pressing R, X, 90, and then I'm gonna place it by pressing G over here, which is the opposite side of the camera. I'm gonna move it a bit more up, scale it a bit, and I'm gonna rotate it so it faces the plane. Okay, like that. In the materials panel, I'm gonna give it emission material with the strength to be 5. Okay, let's see if it is properly positioned, because we want the most of the light to enter from that side, because I found that looks much better. Yeah, that's fine. Now as you can see, this area is very dark, so we'll create one more lamp which is gonna be this side. I'm gonna duplicate this, pressing Shift D, place it just behind the camera over here, rotate it again so that it faces the plane, and in the materials click on this 2 button so that it has separate material, and change the strength to be 0.5 so that we have slight light over here also. Alright, so that's nice. Okay, so now let's set up the materials. I'm gonna make this color a bit more less, okay, the world color. We don't want it to be completely black. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna check on border rendering, so I don't have to render the entire scene. Okay, I'll make it a bit more powerful. This lamp, I don't know, it's very less powerful. I'm gonna make it 1. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's much better. That's fine. Okay, so now we have the lamp setups. Now let's get into the materials. So for the materials, I'm gonna actually create a material for this one, and I'm gonna give the same material to this, and we'll name it Hexagon as well so that it's easier for us. And I'm gonna jump into the node editor. Okay, so now if in this picture, if you see, we have this nice red and black stripes. Now I didn't create any more particles, any more tiles, and give them a separate material, but it's actually with the same material itself. First thing which I'm going to do is actually add in a glossy shader also. So I'm going to add in a mix shader node, place it over here, Shift A, shader, glossy. I'm going to place it over here and connect this to the bottom input. I'm going to change the roughness to be 0.3 and the FAC to be 0.15. This is going to give us a nice glossy and diffuse material. Now let's get into the colors. So in the previous extra tip tutorial, if you saw that, I actually explained about the object info node, with which you can actually control the colors of the particles. And yeah, we are going to use the same node again. So I'm going to place it over here, and if I add in a color ramp node, and if I connect the location to the FAC and this color to be the diffuse color, and if I show you what I have actually in the rendered preview, first layer and the camera, as you can see this area is black. So if I just adjust this color ramp, you can see I have more black and white. Okay, it's much easier to control it with this. So I can change the colors of this black to be something like let's say something like pink or something. I can use any color now, whichever I want. So we're gonna use this itself. So I'm gonna change this interpolation to be constant, okay, so that we have now constant color. I change the color to be red, bright red, I should say. It's nice, kinda nice, yeah, that's fine. And now let's adjust it. I'm gonna actually so now how do we adjust all this? So we need a mapping for that. So press Shift A, vector mapping, and I'm gonna place it over here. And if I come back to the rendered preview now, and if I change this location, you can see I can actually move the entire gradient effect, okay, entire all the colors and all. So now we can set up all the colors for all the particles. So for this first bar, I'm going to change this color to be completely white. So completely white. Okay, this last one also to be white, and I'm going to press plus to add in one more. We're going to place it over here. The first one is going to be red, so I'm going to place it red over here. Okay, it's very ready. So I'm gonna, we want it to be red. Okay, so that's nice. I'm gonna place it just about here. That's fine. Now press plus, and we'll place it over here, and then change this to be black, so that now we get black color. Okay, I'm gonna move it a bit more over here, so that we have equal amount of red and black color. Okay, I'm gonna move it here, that's fine. Okay, so this is how you can create it. And if I duplicate this mapping node and this color ramp node, and if I connect this vector again to this, and this location also to be this, and then if I add in a mix node, so a Shift A, color mix RGB, I place it here, I connect this color to be the bottom color input, change to be multiply, change the FAC to be 1. So now when I have done this, if I again increase this X location, as you can see I can again change the location of these stripes. So I'll decrease this location of the previous mapping node and increase the location of the new mapping node, actually decrease that also. So it's pretty similar to what actually I got, like this one. It's pretty similar to that. Actually I added one more color ramp with this smaller red and black stripe. It's pretty similar to that, and it's looking much better now. I think the glossy is too much, so I'll change the point to the glossy to be 0.1. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, that's done. So the material is basically done. That's pretty much it for the material. So as you can see, this is how you can get the tiles. Now let's give it a render, and then we'll do some compositing. So the samples we are gonna we should use at least 200 samples or 250 samples for the scene. So let's use 200 samples. Okay, I don't know if it is gonna be enough, but you can always increase the samples. So let's wait until the rendering is finished, and then we'll move into the compositor to make it look more awesome using photo editing nodes pack. So the rendering has finished, and I think we should have used 250 samples because it's still a bit more noisy. So you could use 250 samples, and now let's head into the compositor to edit it. So I'm going to change this to be the node editor, and change this to be render layers. I'm going to append in photo editing nodes pack. So if I can find it, somewhere over here, photo editing nodes, node tree, append. I'm going to check use nodes now, and let's start compositing. Okay, I'm going to add in a viewer node, place it here, and then check backdrop. Okay, so first thing is it's too dark, so I'm going to add in a RGB curves node to increase the brightness. Okay, a bit more, I believe. That's better. Okay, and then we'll actually add in a temperature node from the photo editing nodes pack. I'm gonna decrease the coolness, decrease the warmth a bit, and we'll make it a bit more warmer basically. So 0.3 to 0.4 should be fine. 0.35, let's use 0.35, and then I'm gonna increase this brightness a bit more. That's better. That's looking much better. Or I'll make it 0.4, the warmth. It's better. That's nice actually. You can experiment with that. And we didn't set up depth of field, right? Okay, so then we can use the focus node. So the focus type to be focus. I like this blurred focus. I'm gonna increase the size 1.5. I think is fine. Should be fine. We'll make it 1.7 or 8. Let's try 1.8. That's better. I'm gonna increase this blur to be around about 2 to 3, so that we have more blurred edges. I'll make it 3. 3 is better, I think. And I'll make it 1.9, so it's a bit more smaller. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and finally we'll actually add in the vignette node for a vignette. Okay, so the vignette has been added, and I'll increase the spread. No, I'll decrease the spread a bit. No, why did I make it 0? It's not gonna look good, obviously. We'll make it 1, and I'm gonna decrease the opacity. Okay, we don't want it to be so opaque. 0.7, 0.8, something like that should be fine. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna increase the brightness a bit more because of the vignette. Though the brightness is actually increased when we add the vignette also with this vignette node. So I'm gonna make it a bit more brighter. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it for the compositing. I'm gonna connect this vignette to the composite, which is the final compositing. So that's done. If I come back to the UV image editor, this was the render result. It's so dull and gloomy, it doesn't look good at all. But as you can see, if you change this to be the viewer node, it looks much better. Okay, I don't know why the tiles are so glossy. Probably I would prefer to change that if I change to be the 3D view. I don't know why they are so glossy. Probably I think you should add in a edge split modifier also to the tiles edge split, but that's not gonna do much, right? Yeah, let's see what was the problem. It's nice. I don't know why is it so glossy. I think it's because of this bevel or something. You should increase the profile, I believe. Yeah, so that's pretty much it actually. You should experiment with all the values now, and actually the result is pretty cool actually. It's pretty similar to what we got, what I created before. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. I actually added the film grain node also to get a bit more of grains over here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tutorial, guys. I hope you all enjoyed watching it, and yeah, I hope you all like this another abstract scene. It was a great fun making this tutorial, and keep requesting me tutorials and I'll try to create those. And yeah, thanks for watching, and please subscribe and leave a comment.